Thank you. All right.
Um, have you gotten a time frame for completion or usability of the studio at the high school?
Supposed to be May 15th is like the projected end date.
Okay. Do you have access to that in the summer?
Uh, oh yeah. I mean, as soon as it's done, yeah, we're in. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, okay.
What do you think about with the new turf going in and the new field? Are you going to do any kind of like a little time lapse or anything like that? That might be kind
Yeah,
of
I mean, we certainly could. We certainly could do. I have to figure out what that timeline is, but we certainly could.
I don't remember. I believe that's starting real soon, right, Susan?
I
Yes.
assume so.
Yes. Oh, and the other thing that came up last night, Will, that again, no push, no time frame. The school board has actually gotten to tour the new building, and we actually went back out. Susan Fox and I did, and drove around it again. I mean, there's things inside that are so neat to see. And I said, when can we start allowing the community to come in and see the building? And, you know, Findorf is not ready for that. But one of the suggestions was that maybe we could do a video.
Good idea.
And that would only be if you had somebody and it was convenient. And it may not be now, but if we just kind of put it on a list and when it seems feasible, just because it's really neat. And I think, I mean, both communities financially made significant contributions to this building, so it'd be really nice for them to be able to see it.
Yeah, I can't wait to
Really
see.
nice.
Yeah,
I know
I'm
we-
sure. I'm sure if we could get help with the coordination and logistics of it, I'm sure we could find an afternoon to go there and get some video footage to show the community.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of interest. I know when GDS is getting built, I think I went out there with a camera and shot some footage. And it was one of the most popular things because just people aren't able, and especially now with
Right.
folks not traveling around as much. Yeah, spend an afternoon grabbing some B-roll. Doesn't have to be much. Might be
Right.
a good thing.
Great
Well,
social.
and there, again,
content.
working with Katie on this, there's some things in that building that are really innovative and kind of new and are going to be wonderful for the kids, particularly in this COVID transition back to school. They just did a huge thing on the news about, here we are pushing hard to get the kids back in school. And it's now stressful they've gotten used to being at home and they may not like the virtual, but it's for some of them, it's difficult going back. So this building, don't you think, Katie, just the structure and the opening of the walls and some of those things, the light is just beautiful.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have essentially like an engagement plan with Findorf. Once those places are sort of furnished and rounded out for we'll have a drone fly through, we'll have, more design and construction updates. Right now, it's just, there's a lot of, there's one wing with like some furnishings and no furniture. So it's not really what we want to show off right now. There's still raw floors and beams and all sorts of things, but there's definitely a schedule for that. But that's not to say that, Will, you and your team wouldn't be welcome as a part of that. The drone video is pretty much the only planned video that we have right now. If there's other video or anything else really that you wanted to do out there, I'd be more than happy to have your help.
Okay. And it sounds like something that maybe a little more planning too, that help explain it a little bit more too, if we're going to do it.
Yeah, it's
whether,
not a
whether it's just
typical-
graphics or what, but kind of let people know what they're looking at, because
Yeah,
I'm sure a
it's not
lot
a
of
typical
people
school.
won't know.
Yeah, there are a lot of unique and really interesting spaces for students to use.
Okay.
Cool. Good. All right. All right. Anything else on that? Well, sports streaming. Were you going to talk a little about sports streaming or?
Yes. For fun, why don't I do this now? I was going to show you the studio, but since we were talking about it, I was going to show you the studio during the director's report, but why don't we just do this now and I'll show you some photos I took yesterday because it has been demoed.
It'd be painful a little bit for me to see the space gutted, but such is the
Yes.
price of progress.
Yeah. The cost of progress.
Come on. There we go. Okay, so let me share my screen here. See that?
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
So that is looking in right here. Can you see my cursor or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that was the office in the whole space, if you will. And that they're taking out this door, they're gonna close it off. There was a door on the other side, outside the hall of this room, that they're closing off. And the only door will be this one. And so that will be down the road as we get more fancy, kind of an audio editing suite.
Nice.
So this room then is completely open. The ceiling's gutted. They're actually going to rework a lot of these wires and secure them and move them out of the way, because they're also going to be putting little clouds up here, sound dampening clouds.
Nice.
And then, of course, running lighting grid, which is essentially just 1-inch pipe, roughly, in a grid pattern. And then you can connect lights to that. And the grid will also have outlets on the grid. So you plug it right in up there. You're not draping electrical wires down the wall and plugging it in like I was before. So it's going to be real nice.
Great.
As far as having a bunch of room. So that's one photo. Let me pull up another one. Okay. Okay, so that's looking from the other corner, but you can't see it because I'm not sharing my screen yet. Stand by. So that's from that opposite corner, and there's where the studio, or where the, essentially the news desk was. And this door was where we were looking previously. That's the last picture was taken right at this doorway over here, looking back this way. So the audio suite's over here. So yes, this will be wide open, give us a lot of room to move around. New carpet, painting throughout. They're gonna wrap this beam so it doesn't look just like a beam, although it's going to be square, so similar. And then the last, oops, interesting. I got to like close out, stop sharing, get another picture. I did not plan this out. Yeah, here we go. So this is then the other corner. This might be overkill, but whatever. It's fun. We got time. So here's where we'd be at, sitting at the stage, where we had the stage. These are holes where our cables come through.
Excellent.
So we don't really have that anywhere else. So it is a benefit over here that we can run cables under the ground and then have them here for the cameras or whatever.
Awesome.
But really they were only used for audio because our camera cable came out over here, and then we just kept the cameras over here. This control room back here doesn't change at all, except for, again, painting. They're going to paint all of this. I don't know what they're going to do with our hole that we put up here. Maybe just leave it.
So Will, is there still going to be a double door between the main hallway and then the actual studio space?
No, that's one thing that will be like that hopefully won't bite us and be too loud. That's why I had them close off that other door.
Right.
And I also told them if they could replace the existing main door with a full core solid wood door and get rid of the glass on it, that would be nice.
Very smart.
They're going to try to do that, try to use one of these old doors from this office over here for that door. And then once that's done, I'm also you can get these little kits that you can add to the bottom of the door that just kind of, put a little rubber stopper on the bottom or a little rubber lip that will literally seal off the bottom, the bottom of it. Maybe that'll help. So it's a little bit of a gamble. It might bite me a little bit and when we're recording and having it be a little loud, because it definitely was nice and quiet before as far as hallway noise. But I think we're gonna have other challenges. Like they're gonna have these clouds up here to help, but you can see this is literally steel and like, beveled steel ceiling that, even with the clouds, it's gonna be probably a lot more echoey. So we're probably gonna have to invest in more wall coverage to deaden the sound as well.
So increase your microphone budget for the
Right.
next capital
Yeah.
budget.
Right, better microphones and pay the money to get some good sound baffling for the walls.
Cool.
But it's going to be, I'm hopeful that it will be not just used by us, but the whole school. Hopefully, the art department will find some uses for it, and other, the library perhaps. And that would be the hope, mainly because it's one of the only real big spaces we're going to have that has that lighting functionality that, makes it very easy to have different setups, different things, just photography for art, photos in general for a team picture or whatever.
Great.
So
What's
We'll
the
see.
timeline for construction?
well, they demoed it now, and then, May 15th is what their goal is. That will be kind of the drop dead date that they will absolutely say they'll be done.
Great. All right. Any other questions on that? All right, let's move on. My Monona newsletter, analytics and updates. I'm guessing that's you, Sam.
Oh, let me just stop real quick and do the sports streaming. I don't want to miss that.
Oh, yeah.
So not a whole lot like definites going on, but as you can imagine, sports streaming and streaming period is huge and not going away. There's a lot of communities that are using robotic cameras to cover events. There's the NHFS network, which is a big network that's nationwide that basically your school subscribes to it. They provide you with like 3 cameras, up to 3 cameras. And then you install it in your football stadium, let's say, or gymnasium. And you tell it when to turn on, when to stream, and it streams to their network. So it's literally, you go to nfhs.com and it streams on that platform. And then subscribers pay $10 a month and you can watch pretty much any game that's on that network at any time. We're not doing that, but that's one thing. The other one is Huddle, HUDL. It's been used a lot, as you can imagine, by football at the beginning, hence Huddle. So it was used for football teams, right, to take to a game and have different cameras set up. And then it was all get funneled to their Huddle account online. And then they have all these different angles of the game that they could then go back and study. Well, now they've obviously expanded it because they see the potential, and they provide these robotic cameras just like the NFHS network does. But you can stream to the YouTube channel of your choice or Facebook channel of your choice. So that's what we're looking into at the high school, because obviously there is a big push to have everything streaming all the time, not just varsity games, but JV games, freshman games. Parents can't go to their games and they're rightfully bummed out about it. So there's a lot of push, not just in our school, municipal, like statewide, every high school, every AD is dealing with it. And I've been talking to Jeff Schreiner. And I've talked to some Prairie Media Community Center. Their high school has it. I believe Wanakee has it. There's some other schools around here that have the Huddle camera, and some of the other PEG channels, PEG organizations are dealing with it and working with it and trying to, make it mesh with their system. And that would be the goal. So that's coming down the pipe for sure. just because it kind of has to. It's just similar to what we're talking about having Zoom.
You're working on that right now, on being able to do that for MG Sports right now? That's something,
It is. Well, not right now because I mean, you gotta buy the camera, you gotta install it, you gotta get
Okay.
it on the network. There's a number of things you gotta do.
Yeah,
And with
yeah.
the stadium not being even functional, we can't put it in the stadium right now. So
Yeah,
it would be for the fall. It
Oh,
wouldn't,
that's great.
yeah, it wouldn't happen for the spring sports, no.
Well, again, I wasn't thinking about doing it now. I just was really pleased that you were doing a plan with it. And have you guys had an experience? So we were watching, so all this youth hockey, these little kids, there's a thing called the barn. And
Oh,
you can
that's
go,
gotcha.
it's an account and it's not very expensive. And you know, what the parents do is they all share the account number. And you can watch your kids' tournament in Wapaka, sitting in Cedarburg, watching the other kid play hockey. I mean, the guys were doing it on their phones. We were doing it on a computer, but is that kind of how that works?
Yeah, same thing. So that the barn is probably very similar setup to the NFHS network, I bet.
So
Because
does
I
that
assume
mean,
you're watching it and it's just following the action, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean, remember, if we had looked at the old list of things that, I mean, you had to have a student there to cover the sport. So, you know, there were basketball and football and some of the main sports, you covered everything. But, you know, things like hockey and I don't remember swimming, but there were just some sports that were more difficult to cover and time-wise. So do you
Off-site,
think
definitely.
this
All
will
the off-site
greatly,
is right. Still gonna always be a struggle. Baseball, tennis, golf,
Yeah.
hockey.
yeah, but particularly in the places where you can put a camera, like our building, like girls and boys basketball in the gym,
Yep.
you're going to be able to expand coverage, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
That's-
it will be one of those things where the boys and girls varsity basketball game against McFarland is going to have our crew with announcers and the whole shebang. And then all of a sudden the volleyball game's going to play the next night and it's going to be a camera going like this and that's it. Because, you know, we just don't get that many people fired up for it. And but maybe we will this time because they won't have, the technology won't be scary to them. All they got to do is show up and maybe plug in and do some announcing and they'll have fun doing announcing. Maybe this is a way we expand our offerings by being able to announce sports if we want and not have to worry too much about the technical aspect. So there's
That's
opportunities and challenges
wonderful.
from what I can tell. And then another reason why we, you know, like the barn and those, we already have it free on our YouTube. We can't really go to a system where all of a sudden you have to pay. That doesn't, you know, there'd be some upset parents there where for years they've gone to YouTube and watched it. And then all of a sudden we changed to some paid service and that'd be a little tough to swallow. So.
That's wonderful. Thank you. That's wonderful.
Okay, are we ready to move on then to the newsletter? Let's do it.
Alrighty. Let me share my screen.
I'm going to make you co-host. Are you going to share your screen or?
Yeah, it says I can't.
Yeah. Set this up so anybody can, you know.
That's not share. Okay, can you see constant contact now?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so here's just a look at the numbers from our first newsletter. At the time, we had 667 people who were signed up, so that's how many people got the newsletter, the very first one. Our open rate was 69%. The grade was 38%. If you go down here, you can see which links were clicked the most in the newsletter. And the most popular one was Park and Rec. And then the second most popular was actually the sign up page for the newsletter. So that's good. And then it just kind of goes down from there. But yeah, Park and Rec was number one. And then our landing page for signing up. So that's kind of a quick overview of what that newsletter had. I have been working on the newsletter for March. It's going out next Wednesday. And so I can give you kind of a sneak peek of it. Christy and I met and kind of talked about she gave me some pointers and stuff. And so I have revamped it. So it's already revamped for the second newsletter. So I'll give you guys a look. Now I don't have everything in it yet. So this is just like kind of what I do have, but I changed the header. So we got this nice picture background now.
Looks great.
And then of course the election will be the biggest thing in the March newsletter. Yeah, so this is what I'm working on for March.
Looks great.
Thanks. Yeah, do you guys have any questions?
I just
So
want to say that's an
Sam,
awesome. I just wanted to jump in and say that that's an awesome open rate and click rate.
Yeah, agreed.
Unheard of and really fantastic. So good job on your subject line and on all the content. Keep up the good work. That's really great, Sam.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Christy, the seniors, several seniors have asked me how they subscribe. And I tried to explain it to, do you have a simple way to tell them? I mean, can they just call City Hall? I didn't think so. They have to go in on the website,
They
right?
have to click something. We could probably brainstorm a solution here. You know, if they even, I don't know if I could put that on the senior center, but even if they had a sign up at the senior center, just pen and paper,
Oh, okay.
putting their email,
Good
and then
idea.
someone at the senior center could enter that for them. Maybe
Yeah,
Okay.
that's just what I was going to suggest because they just
Great
need to
idea.
give an email and their name, and anyone could do it for them.
Yes. Great idea, Susan. Thank you. Yeah.
No, thank you guys. Give me real name.
Sam, did you see a tick up in people signing up for the newsletter after the first one went out, or?
Yes, we had a ton more people sign up after it went out. We now have 743 people.
Nice.
Great.
And the uptick was literally like the day it went out and the day after, and then it kind of died down.
Right.
So I'm hoping that I can boost it again on social media when this next one goes out, and hopefully we'll get some more subscribers.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah, looking good.
And
Last night at, you can
We'll
go-
promote it through the senior center too, because I know they'll enjoy this. They will.
Yeah. I was gonna say, last night at Transit, we were talking about possibly, because I'm pretty sure Constant Contact has a polling option. And so we were talking about, we're working on a transit survey for existing riders, but we wanted to poll maybe just 4 questions for non-riders. And so if that's something we could schedule maybe sometime, we didn't really talk timeline, but it's probably in the next few months. That would be kind of a cool thing because, you know, everybody loves clicking and giving their opinions.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And then you can kind of have an engagement option. So we might have something for you on that if you're open. to it.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, it looks great.
Thanks.
Anyone have other comments on the newsletter? Nice. Maybe the video of the school or the time lapse of the new track going in, new turf going in. Those would be cool pieces in there too.
Yeah. It's another great way where we can highlight our video work.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. All right. I guess then we can go on to reports, director's report.
Yeah, we've kind of knocked off a couple
Okay.
things already. One bigger news, our lead volunteer for the last 2.5, 3 years, Kirk Swenson, who was our volunteer music director, is retiring and going camping more. So that's a big loss. We're gonna be kind of working on reaching out to a couple people who have some good musical taste and have had an interest in the station, and hopefully maybe spread his duties out to a few people, not just one, because he was retired and put in, 15 hours a week into listening to music, gathering music, programming the music, working the promos, listening to the station, emailing me when he heard things that weren't right. He just did a lot of different things, not just pick music and play it. So it'll have to get spread out between some people, and Sam and I included into some of that for sure. So that's a bummer, but we'll keep going.
And you have a couple leads on people right now?
Yeah, I mean, I have one who wants to help, but like I say, it's really going to be tough because he did a lot
Yeah.
of stuff because he didn't have a full-time job and
Yes.
he was able to have fun and do it. So, I mean, we'll have to change a little bit. I don't think what we change, people are going to notice so much, but we'll have to just change a little bit based on what we can handle and grow, once again, grow in another way.
Yeah.
MG21 graduation, they reached out to us today, and they're kind of planning their graduation. So going to be working with them in whatever capacity they end up having their graduation. We're also working with MG21 with their sustainability champions for the city, which is interviewing community members about their sustainability projects at their house. The first one was about somebody who pretty much did an energy audit and then found out kind of where you find out all the nooks and crannies of your house and where you're losing heat and cold air is rushing in and things, and then fixing it. So they did that along with their electric car or hybrid car. So that was a good story.
And MG21 is doing the work on that, did you say? Or how is MG21 involved in that?
Well, so they're kind of involved in really setting up the interview with the
Okay.
person,
Got it.
and then the student interviews
Oh,
them,
nice.
and Sam and I just make sure it gets recorded on Zoom and it works out.
Okay, got it.
And then as of right now, we will edit. If Rebecca Fox Blair for MG21 gets a student that can handle it, they'll do that. But right now, she said it's a little tough.
Okay.
So, but that's great because I mean, any type of help to help us kind of produce those things and move it along. So all we have to really worry about is making sure technically it works out. And then the end product, working on that just helps, because if we had to kind of push it along from the get-go, it would take a lot more of our time. So it's a good partnership. And of course, Brad Brune and the Sustainability Committee is doing a lot in finding the people to interview and reaching out to them and getting them the forms so that they fill that out. So a lot of people are doing the work ahead of time. We're just basically there at the interview, making sure that it's happening, getting recorded, and then we'll edit it. So there'll be some work involved. We'll need to get some pictures and stuff so that it's not just somebody talking, ideally, but it's a good project.
Cool.
I don't know who watches The Voice, but Monona has somebody who has made it on The Voice, Rain Stern, and we met her a while ago and she told us about this. So we brought her back into the studio. There's been a lot of, NBC 15 did a story on her. The Wisconsin State Journal has. She lives in Monona. So we got her in the studio and I took a bunch of video while Samantha interviewed her. So we'll have a hodgepodge of some video and some radio content, both for social media and radio, to hype up Monona's voice, the voice of Monona, literally.
Awesome.
The Friends of WVMO is having a streaming event at the Barrymore. If anyone knows who Neil Francis is, they're doing a stream that will be live streamed through Lucid Streams. I'm not sure who they are, but it'll be able to go to wherever we want them to put it, so we can put it on the Facebook page, and then we'll probably broadcast it live on the radio too, as long as we can get a good connection from over there and technically it works out. And they're hoping to raise some money or at least get some sponsorship to pay for that. So they're liking that. They're having fun with that, which is good.
When is that, Will?
May 1st.
May 1st, thanks.
Did we talk about the weather reports that we have on the air now last month?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. So yes, we have an automated weather service. His name is Dean Rothman.
I love it. I appreciate those. I find those great.
Yeah, it's been working out. Sam and I had some fun and did an interview with him. So that'll be coming out.
Good.
I should say Lindsay interviewed him. And then we talked about the studio remodel. So I think that's the bigger things I have. I know we send out that kind of whole laundry list of what we're up to, justifying our jobs. So take a look at that.
All right, cool. Sounds like some fun stuff coming out.
Yes, always something going on.
All right, great. Okay, do you need any help in helping spread the word about the volunteer music director positions, or do you guys have that under control, or like?
I mean, I'm reaching out to the volunteers right now that would fit the bill that I think would work. I mean, the tricky part is they do need to learn some software. We are in COVID, so this whole, that whole thing makes it a little tougher. And I mean, personally, I'm not freaking out like, oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to do this.
Okay.
The station's going to fall apart. Like I say, we can change a little bit, make it work for a couple months while we figure it out. Nobody will probably notice it on the air.
And the software, is it Audible and?
Yeah, I mean, I already know how to do the software part of it. It's really just the time commitment of just being involved in listening to music, picking music, scheduling it, taking some songs off if you're going to put some songs on,
Okay.
And have a feel for the station. So it can't just be anybody. They have to kind of understand our sound and what type of station this is
Yeah.
to be able to do it.
All right. Okay. Susan?
So clearly if you
I
know
was-
somebody who's fired up about the station, has been listening for 5 years and know who we are and loves it,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I might
But
know
if they're
some
coming
people.
from like 94.9 or something,
Yeah.
they'll have their place because they'll know how to do it. They'll know what a program director does, but they'll still have to learn our sound and our approach.
Susan? Ooh, I think you're on mute, Susan. I think you're on mute, Susan. Maybe?
Come on, it's
I said,
2021.
isn't that a great way? You can just keep me there. Are they still going to try and do Mariana Dick Litchfield's jazz program, or is that
We're just doing repeats every Sunday night now.
okay?
I don't know when we'll end. I don't really
Yeah, but that's
feel like I
fun.
want to end it yet. So
Yeah, that's wonderful music. And in case you don't know, Will actually did go over to see Marianne and spend time with her, and it was very, very meaningful to her. She was
the
quite.
whole family came over. I thought I was just going to come over and help her with the stereo. And then all of a sudden Pete showed up and Melanie showed up and
Oh, it-
sausage on the
again,
table and
It was wonderful.
Drinks were out.
And then the other thing I wanted to just mention, so that you and Sam were aware, in our consent agenda last night, we had like 6 teachers who are retiring. They have to put their thing in by March 1st. And the 6 teachers totaled 132 years of teaching.
Wow.
wow.
So you can imagine who it is. But I wanted to just kind of tip you off that one of them is Lori Naherniak.
I know about Lori and I know about Jeff. I don't know about the other 4 though.
Oh, yeah. Well, so Sarah Brandt is a first grade teacher at Taylor Perry. Barbara Trapp, she's
Oh, yes.
34 years. 34
Wow.
years. She's wonderful. And then Amy Manger, who's been here 21 years. And then person who raised my kids, thank goodness for him, Dave Kinsler. So I don't know what that means, again, for the hockey program and the tech program. And we just approved like 3 or 4 new technology programs for the middle school. And they're wonderful programs. They're adding coding and financial analysis and to the middle schoolers.
Financial analysis.
Financial analysis. We'll just
That
see if
does
they can
sound
do a check.
wonderful.
See if they, no. Hey, can you do a checkbook? Who balances your?
I don't
checkbook?
need to anymore. It's all online, man.
I just wanted to mention that, just
Amazing. Cool.
things we cover.
Yeah. All right. Okay, anything else? Everyone content? All right. Can we get a motion to adjourn? I got tacos calling me. La Rosita. Sorry to torture you all.
I didn't get my Katie hug down there. Where are they, Katie?
They're still in the bath. I can hear them screaming.
Enjoy.
I guess the only thing I'll say is I hope you guys can set your calendar for next month because we're gonna be paying our lawyer to come into our meeting, so
Oh, yeah.
we're
Yes.
spending some money for next meeting.
Well, Bill Cole.
Bill will be here. Yeah. We'll talk about public meetings and such.
Tell him he can't come unless he brings Kathy Thomas brownies, right? Is that?
Virtual brownies. All right.
Oh, good idea.
Delicious. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second? Don't all jump.
See, we don't
A
want to
second.
adjourn. Second.
Nobody wants to. All right, Susan, thanks. And all in favor of adjourning?
All right.
Aye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody, for being here.
Thank
See
you.
everyone.
Take care.
Have
Take
a
care,
good
folks. Thank you all.
night.
Have a good night.
Stay
And
well.
Christy, thank you for a really nice meeting. I mean,
Oh,
it's so hard
Well,
during
that's
this time period right now to have fun. It's nice. It was
Absolutely.
really nice.
Cool. Thanks, Susan. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys. Good
Bye.
night.
Thanks, Bill.
Bye-bye.